Well, we are going to move on to our favorite game, Own, Rent, Trash. If you are in the chat and you don't know what this is, I provide 3 movies, and they usually are related in some form. And you have to decide whether you're going to own it, which means you can watch it as many times as you want. Rent it means, a once or twice, no more than that. And then trash means absolutely just throw it away. It's garbage. So
these were hard last time.
Well, let's see. Let's let the games begin. The first one I don't think is going to be that difficult because after the mess with Joker 2, I decided to go with 3 films that feature the Joker that's not Joker 2. So you can own, rent, or trash.
Ooh.
This is easy though. Dark Knight, own, rent, Joker, trash, Suicide Squad. Yep, at least for me.
I'm with it. No, I don't want to see the Ayer cut. I don't want any part of that movie.
I no care.
I want it to go away
Joker's
forever.
the worst part of that movie.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with that movie. Joker 1, I would probably watch it again at some point, but I don't really want to. But Dark Knight is forever.
Heath Ledger is just right there. He's just so good. Also, some of the best like that talking scene, the dialogue scenes, because I've always found superhero movies, after a while, and I know a lot of people kind of feel that way. It's just a bunch of people just throwing stuff at each other and things like that, right? So you go, okay. I've always found the dialogue of superhero movies to be very interesting, and those who get good dialogue right can be like really, really good. And The Dark Knight's got to be up there for some of the best dialogue consistently throughout an entire superhero movie that we've seen, from the interrogation scene to Joker talking about his plans at the little when he was at that dinner and even Harvey Dent and the things that they talk, like it's just good dialogue throughout that kind of amps everything up. So I always like that.
Yeah, I figured I'd start off with one where I figured it wouldn't be that too much of a difficult thing. And I wanted to bring this up to you guys because I don't think we've talked about this. I don't know if you guys know New Rock Stars. Eric Voss brought up a really great point. So normally when he does these like Easter eggs of movies, he's usually like remains positive. And when he did the one for Joker 2, he did all the Easter eggs, but you could tell he absolutely hated Joker 2 so much. He brought up the fact that like a lot of people, we all kind of got the vibe that Todd Phillips had set up the fact that the Heath Ledger Joker is the one that killed Joaquin Phoenix in the jail cell, or that's kind of like what it's supposed to. But he brought up the point that like he wouldn't even have been the same age. He'd be like 4 years old.
Yeah.
And I heard somewhere that, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're right.
I heard somewhere that like Nolan had heard that Todd Phillips wanted to actually do the whole Heath Ledger thing. And
yes,
he said no.
I was going to say that. That's literally where I was going to go. It's like, no.
Like that's one of those things where it's like Christopher Nolan and Todd Phillips work in the same business, but that's the same way of saying like Michael Jordan and the backup for the Nuggets are in the same business.
It's
like dang.
Yeah. Yeah, when I heard that, it was just like, oh, he had asked Chris Nolan. It's like, no. not a chance.
Shouldn't even be allowed to ask Christopher Nolan. How dare he?
Like, what are you doing? Kidding me?
TSHHVA24. What are we? Some kind of interactive live stream? Hell yes, we are.
That's right.
We absolutely are. And then thank you so much for joining us, Julio. Woot, finally able to catch you fine people live. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for joining us. And then Justin's here. Hello, Justin. The Dark Knight is one of the best comic book movies ever. I would agree with that.
It just is.
With it.
Okay, we're gonna move on. 2, 3 classics. Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street.
I'm on a Halloween bender right now, going through all of them right now. So exciting.
Nice.
We're talking all originals, right?
All originals.
Yeah, this.
Halloween is probably still going to be my number 1 to own because I just like Halloween. The Nightmare on Elm Street versus Friday. I gotta take Nightmare on Elm Street. I think that's a better overall movie than Friday the 13th. And I think it's a better slasher. I think Freddy's a better character. I'd trash Friday the 13th.
It's funny if you Friday the 13th and Halloween are very different for me. Halloween, it goes from the best one they ever made to like basically you can just go in order. And then Friday the 13th, I like some of the other ones more than I like the original one. But Nightmare on Elm Street is for me. Yeah, I'd go Halloween Own, Rent, Nightmare, Trash.
Because that's Wes Craven, and that was like that's just it's a better movie than I think even a lot of people who haven't seen it in a long time realize. Like Nightmare on Elm Street's actually like movie wise not even that bad compared to like I don't know if Friday the 13th was actually a good movie. Now I'm thinking about it.
Interesting.
I watched it for the first time actually last Halloween season, and I had seen a lot of the sequels, but I hadn't seen the original, which was weird to me. But I actually really liked it, and I can get why there's kind of like a cult following around it because it is kind of the, it really is technically a prequel if you think about it.
Yes,
for the franchise. I didn't think it was a bad movie, but I think it doesn't leave the same impact as the other two for sure. Cool. Tim's chiming in here. He's saying own Nightmare, rent Halloween, Trash Friday. So
that's fair too. I think Nightmare is actually the best movie out of the three of these. I just like Halloween personally.
Yeah, no wrong answers. So we'll move on. We've got so this is an interesting combination. So these are all movies that have D cinema scores that are surprising. Because Joker 2 got a D cinema score. These three also have D cinema scores, but they are considered to be well liked in retrospect. So.
Yeah.
And if you're listening, I should be doing this. If you're listening and you're not watching, it's American Psycho, Eyes Wide Shut, Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
I didn't like Life Aquatic, so that's trash for me. Actually, the way you have it is the way it would be for me. Own American Psycho, run Eyes Wide Shut, which is a better movie than I think people give credit for. Personally for me, I didn't like Life Aquatic, but
yeah, I'm with that.
That would be the one I trash.
I'm with that same order too. I don't like that they're doing a remake of American Psycho, for the record, just to put that out there. This list, I'm good with that order as it
Life
is.
Aquatic has a stacked cast too. That's the crazy thing. Like there's a great, and again, I'm not even saying it's a bad movie. Personally, I just didn't find it to be great. And it's more of a comedy than anything else. But Bill Murray's in it, and you got Owen Wilson, Kate Blanchett's in it, William Dafoe. Like there's good people in it. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree with you guys. I think I would actually do the same exact order. And as you said too, John, like Eyes Wide Shut has now become like a much more like beloved film, and people realize how smart it was. I think it weirded people out when it first came out.
I agree with that, and I think also as this is going to sound kind of weird, but I think as some of these allegations that have come out from Hollywood and like those kinds of societies have come more to the forefront, I think a movie like Eyes Wide Shut gets way more understood in terms of like, oh yeah, there are people out there who doesn't matter what their facade is, they're behind the scenes, and I think it was smart about it.
Yeah. We've got some people playing in the chat here. Mindless Meat says own American Psycho, rent Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah, and then get rid of Life Aquatic. I think everyone's on the same page. I just found it really interesting, that when you see the D cinema score, and the cinema score is also like people that saw it, I think day one, the movie, and then they're asked. Right. So typically those are people that really wanted to see that movie specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing how all these went under revision to be gold. Yeah, I mean, I feel like at a certain point you look at these and you're like, well, they're not that bad. Like even like Life Aquatic, you know what I mean? It's interesting.
Yeah, no, Life Aquatic's not. Yeah, that's just a personal. We see that all the time, right? Like it's this constant. Dread is probably one of the prime examples of like that movie is looked at. It was looked at so poorly that people were like, it's not even better than the original Sylvester Stallone one. And now you look at people, they've been asking for a sequel for that movie for years.
Yeah, it's heresy to say those things now, like internet heresy.
Yep. We got Terrace House Guy. Feel like Life Aquatic is one of Wes's weaker films for that. No, you're absolutely correct. Definitely. And then Tim says, I thought Eyes Wide Shut was really interesting and not as controversial as reported. No, it's not. And like in hindsight too, it's like such a right. It's not that it's compared to what we've seen in the past. Since that movie has come out, it's not shocking in any way.
Yes.
Cool. We'll go to the next one. We've got 3 superhero films that are not part of like any big franchise. They're not
Yeah,
DC.
no
Well, I
Marvel,
guess.
DC.
Yeah, exactly. You guys
Not
know what I'm
really.
going
So,
for.
hmm.
Chronicle, Kick-Ass, and Hancock.
I think I would own Kick-Ass, rent Hancock, and trash Chronicle. But I would be easily swayed on all 3 of those things.
I like Hancock. Just has a bad ending.
Yeah. Yeah. Very weak ending.
Chronicle,
cool.
yeah, the setup is great. Chronicle is a film that is a product of its time that does not work nearly as well when you watch it back. It created stars. That was Michael B. Jordan and I forgot the other 2 kids, but they also went on to do some great things. I think I would own Hancock though, even despite the bad ending, and rank Kick-Ass and trash Chronicle.
Yeah, that's fair.
But if you asked at the time, I think Chronicle would be number 1 because at the time, this is the way it was and the way it seemed and how it looked, and Chronicle was like cool. But that was because at that time, those types of films, those handheld recording, everybody has something, they're catching pieces of it. The Cloverfield type things, like that was cool at the time. I just don't think it really works that well today. Also, he became evil almost way too quickly. It's just the way. You're like, all right, but you got 2 friends, man. Like 2 friends who actually ride with you really well, and you still just, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's, you could interchange these all really easily depending on the era or just even how you're feeling. Blueface Telly says Hancock was very, very fun. Absolutely.
The ending just stinks on that one. It does.
Yeah, and Chronicle was actually written by Max Landis, who I feel like never really wrote anything else of substance, but he had one of those really early on successes.
Yeah. Dane DeHaan is who I'm thinking of, the kid in Chronicle who became evil.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just but if you look, I think Chronicle has the best reviews out of all of them. But again, product of its time. That was that 2005 to 2015 era, really 2012 to 13. But like that time when those films where everybody just wanted to copy what Blair Witch did, but do it a little bit more, a little bit better, a little bit more perfect. Technology was changing, so we all thought we had to do specific things with different technology. It was interesting.
Oh, I gotta chime in here. Mindless Meat, thank you so much for the super chat.
Oh God,
it's very appreciated. It's very kind of you.
No,
John, did you hear they were making a Bay Universe TMNT based on The Last Ronin? Oh my!
I like The Last Ronin. I just don't want Bay anywhere near.
Michael Bay.
No, I don't like that news. I did not know that, but I hope that's not true. The Last Ronin will absolutely be used as a storyline somewhere because it's a great story, but like it's just okay.
I haven't seen the Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because this turtles like make me nauseous. I don't know what it is. Like I don't like the way they look at all. They kind of scare me.
He had the 2014 film. Was it 13 or 14? It's a terrible movie. That's the one that had Megan Fox as April.
Horrible casting.
God.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Yeah. Tara's house guy says Mr. Bay sound explosions aren't a substitute for plot, but go ahead anyway.
And he made fun of that. Do you remember when he had that movie on Netflix and like he kept releasing all these commercials with Ryan Reynolds making fun of the fact that he likes to like blow things up and everything like that. And he's like, oh, haha, look at me. And it's like, no, this is how people actually see you. Like it's not like a joke to people. It's like you literally will. And Six Underground was that movie. And again, that movie, no plot, great action sequences.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my God. We've got Chronicle was great from Profess the Film Fan. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
Tim says Kick Ass probably holds up the best. I could see that
that's true. I
for
think so
sure.
too. I just
Um,
like Will Smith and Hancock.
yeah. I love Will Smith in that too. Luke, thanks so much for joining us. What's up? What's up?
Hey,
And oh yeah, I'm sure Max loves The Last Ronin, but I feel like if it's done wrong, he's going to be upset. But yeah,
I think a lot of people would. I think a lot of people, because it's like, all right, man, we've gotten a return to glory with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and it's like, oh no,
yeah.
Could go away real quick.
yeah.
Uninspired reviewer, thanks so much for stopping by. Kick-ass solos easy. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we are going to go to the next slide. And if anyone has joined us in the chat, it's you have to get rid of one movie. You have to rent one, which would be like you watch it once or twice. And then the third one would be to own. So we're going to go to this one. Now, this is to redeem Joaquin. These are considered his 3 top films. I mean, he's been in so many good ones, but if you like look at ratings and critics and things like that. So we have the Spike Jonze film, Her. We have Walk the Line, where he played Johnny Cash. And then we have The Master, which is a Paul Thomas Anderson film with Philip Seymour Hoffman, the late great.
That one's tough.
It's tough, yeah.
Her is probably going to be, that's the highest rated of these 3, right? I think.
I'm not positive. It might be.
I think I'm going controversial here. I'm owning Her. I'm renting The Master, and I'm trashing Walk the Line.
Nice.
I like to Walk the Line.
The uninspired reviewer agrees with you, Bonebridger. So.
I think I like The Master too, though. I think I'd own The Master and rent Her and trash Walk the Line, even though I do like Walk the Line a little bit. I don't know.
Her's just so interesting. Like it's just such a it's somehow fast paced and really slow. Like it's so slow.
Yeah.
But just the constant concept of what's going on is just so intriguing.
I think the whole thing with The Master, though, is the whole thing of him coming back from the war and then like trying to look for something to believe in. And I think that resonated with a lot of people, which is why a lot of people kind of like that movie. But yeah. And Philip was great in it. So yeah, I'd own The Master.
This is a very tough one. I love all 3 of these movies. We all know Joaquin won the Oscar for Walk the Line.
Yes.
But usually biopics give you a little bit of a boost when it comes to that. Yeah, I actually, The Master was one of the more recent. I think I watched it for the first time more recently than a lot of other Paul Thomas Anderson films, and I was really blown away by it. I love the dynamic between he and Philip Seymour Hoffman, and then Her is just that is a phenomenal film, and it's really interesting because Spike Jonze made that kind of in his way of processing his divorce with Sofia Coppola, and Sofia Coppola made Lost in Translation as her version of how she dealt with her divorce from him as well. So they're kind of companion pieces. We've got some people in the chat. I'm loving the noise. Slip to Garcon, thanks so much for joining. I'm loving the noise John makes when
it's ASMR.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's tough. You gotta really get into these.
Yeah. Terrace House Guy says, man, this one is tough. It is very tough. Thanks so much, Mindless Meat. He wrote the scores. I wonder if these are, IMDb or what these are, but Hers an 8, Walk the Line 7.8, and I think The Master is much better than a 7.1.
Oh, The Master is better than the reviews gave it, but I do remember Her being like a widely high, like accepted by critics and everything type of movie.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Yes, Tim. It's really interesting. They were married for a brief time, and she was really young, and they were both really young, and it did not end well. But neither here nor there. We're going to move on to the next one, which is going to be our final one. So these are movies we have not seen yet, and I thought it would be fun to do this, and then we'll come back to this when all 3 films are out, and then have a different opinion. So Thunderbolts, Brave New World, and Fantastic Four. What would you own, rent, or trash?
Oh, this one hurts me because I'm no longer naive when it comes to Marvel. I'm very much like, okay, I know that none of these are going to be what I wish they were.
Oh
But
man.
I cannot. My list is slightly controversial. I'm going to own Thunderbolts. I have no expectations for it. I think it'll be just wackyville. But I think that movie, I'd rather rent Fantastic Four because I'm scared of it. But Brave New World, I'm going to trash just because of the reshoots. I just can't trust that that's a movie yet.
That's
I'm
fair.
gonna be honest. I'm gonna own Brave New World.
It should be the best. It should
yeah.
be.
The only reason why I would own Brave New World is I trust Anthony Mackie as Falcon turning into Cap. I trust that more than I trust anybody else coming back, including Sebastian Stan coming back as Bucky. U.S. Agent does not look like U.S. Agent we were introduced to. They look like they turned him into comic relief.
It's gonna be a comedy. Yeah.
And that before I saw the trailer, I was like, man, I was excited to see Wyatt Russell come back. But I'm like, whereas I do trust Anthony Mackie, and we don't know what anybody's going to look like from Fantastic Four. So I would own Brave New World. I'd rent Thunderbolts. I don't know if I trust Fantastic Four.
Galactus, I've said this before. I think that's a problem. I just think that doesn't work. I mean,
Fantastic Four could end up being the best movie out of these three, but
Sure.
I just personally, I don't think I trust it. We have yet to have a really good rendition of any type of Fantastic Four, and that goes all the way back to the 60s. The only time we've had good Johnny Storms. Well, Storm, Chris Evans, because Michael B. Jordan was awful as it. But I don't know. It's just I'm curious. Great cast.
Yeah.
I got trash Fantastic.
It's fun to do this because obviously we have not seen them, and I might keep this one for further streams just as time progresses, and maybe when we get a Fantastic Four trailer and compare, and when we've actually seen Brave New World is first, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Then the trailer already came out, so we know what that is seemingly going to be like. And then we just got the trailer from Thunderbolts a couple weeks back. So Fantastic Four, I'm assuming, is a Super Bowl trailer,
and that's all in the next 9 months.
Yeah.
We're getting all three of these movies, which is.
I wasn't. I have to say, the last time I saw the Thunderbolts trailer in the theater, I kind of was like, you know what? They kind of sold me a little bit more on this movie. I think I was a little harsh on that trailer. I didn't hate it as much, and I actually enjoyed the trailer a lot more when I saw it in the theater. But I'm not saying that's a reflection of the film because, as Maxfield's saying, trust Marvel, trash all three.
I mean, until they prove otherwise, I'm with that.
I don't know. I wonder if Julia. I'm curious on Julia Louis-Dreyfus's how she plays it, because it's very clear that they're following the Suicide Squad kind of moniker a little bit. I'm curious if they're going to try and make her more like Viola Davis's Amanda Waller, or if they're going to try and have her be a little bit more comedic, and she's kind of a little bit, because it's Julia Louis-Dreyfus, right? Veep, Seinfeld, things like that. Her to be comedy. I'm curious, but she might make or break certain things for me.
Yeah. I meant to read this and I did not. Sorry.
Yeah.
My reviewer, throw Brave New World, own Fantastic Four. I love 60s retro futurism. I do too. And rent Thunderbolts. I'm a sucker for long-haired Sebastian Stan.
I am if they can get, and we'll see, right, with the trailer and stuff like that. 60s retro futurism can be great. I just don't know if I trust Marvel to do it.
Right.
I would have trusted Fox.
You got a little bit of 70s retro futurism in the Loki series, but
Yes, you did. I thought Fox did. I think Fox would have done well with it if it was them. And they had updated things and everything like that. But now Disney owns Fox, so it goes.
Terrace House Guy says probably own Fantastic Four simply because I want to see Galactus, but that's it. That's about it. I think the curiosity behind Galactus is what is going to get people to the theater. But as you said, Bonebridger, like you said, it's going to be pretty difficult to pull that off.
If they do, it'll be great. I just don't see Marvel.
Well,
right.
Let's be honest. Galactus is just going to be what Eternals. It's just going to be. It's going to be very similar to that. To how they I don't even know why their name's slipping my mind, but Eternals, especially at the end where he shows up and like he's like talking and everybody in the world can see him, even though that's basically never referenced again. But like,
right.
I think that's what Galactus will probably look like.
Yeah.
We got Julio saying Fantastic Four has been trashed before. It will be trash again.
That's what I feel.
Go in the bin, own Thunderbolts, rent Brave New World.
It's hard to trust Fantastic Four, personally, for me.
I would want discount versions of all this, though. I want a coupon for my own. I want a coupon for my rent, and then the trash, I'm dumpster diving.
Free. Tim brings up a point. Fantastic Four seems like it has a more focused creative vision. So, I mean,
it probably won't have reshoots, right?
That's the only one with expectations, though. That's the problem. Brave New World, everyone thinks it's going to be trash. Thunderbolts, everyone knows it's going to be trash. Fantastic Four, people think like it's supposed to be that the Doomsday and Secret Wars, like that's supposed to be the Marvel plan. I mean,
Thunderbolts could be bad, but still be fun.
Exactly. Like you, because you go in, you're not expecting Thunderbolts to be great. You're just expecting it to be like a good time. Like you're glad you're there.
And for everything that people say about Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts has a good cast. So now Florence Pugh, I'm very curious what they're going to do with her,
right?
Because now she's had so many different tones that like it can go anywhere. And it looks like here she's got like a I'm over it type of tone, but I would not put her in the Deadshot role of Suicide Squad like it looks like they're trying to put her, because that's not what she's really supposed to be, and it looks like that's where they're trying to push her to.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Yeah, David brings up a great point. They've tried for 3 times if you conclude the 90s one, so I'm curious how this one goes. I think that's how a lot of it's either going to be 3rd time's a charm or 3rd time you're not going to fool me again, one of those. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, mindless meat, what are my picks? I think because we haven't seen anything for Fantastic Four yet, I'm going to trash it, even though I am incredibly interested in it as a project. So I would probably, it's tough. I do think if Brave New World's reshoots are to help it, then I think that I would own that and I would rent Thunderbolts. But if the Brave New World reshoots are a disaster, then I'm going to have to do the reverse on that one, and just trash Fantastic Four as of now, because we still haven't seen enough.
We saw the trailer. There's the scenes between him and Harrison Ford, Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford, look good for all it's worth. But it's just the problem of like there's so many scenes that look like they're supposedly being glued in that it's like it might make it disjointed. But the scenes between them two, and even rumors from the set, people were saying like their chemistry is actually really good. So I'm like, I don't know. I feel better about that having seen it. Now that's fair. We haven't seen anything from Fantastic Four, so it's easy to feel better about it. But